terrible. Now we're not going to know like what real video is. And my point at the time, and I sort of agree with this still, is guys, we've never actually, since the beginning, you can manipulate film, you can manipulate photography. There's 100-year-old fakes of photos that people believed. I think it was Arthur Conan Doyle, the Sherlock Holmes author, famously fell for a scam back in like the early 1900s where somebody had faked photos of like fairies in the woods, and he became convinced that fairies were real because he saw a photo of it. So this stuff isn't really new. It's just sort of people are becoming more and more aware of the fact that photos and video can be easily faked, but that by itself isn't actually a new problem within society.
And so I'm in the camera space. I know some friends that work for Canon and Sony and different camera companies. And right now they can't keep those little point and shoot cameras in stock at all. The entire like Gen Z market is buying these old point and shoot cameras from like the early 2000s, and any of the current point and shoot cameras that exist are just selling off like crazy. They used to be like $150, and now they're selling for $300, $400 on eBay. So you can see the kind of rebellion on the young, the younger generation is like anything that's unfiltered, that looks as authentic as possible, is going against the grain of what we're talking about here, where it's like everything's fake, everything's AI. And I can just see that with kind of the culture of the young people, just kind of desperate for anything that feels authentic.
That's very interesting, and I've had that same thought, where there's going to be sort of, I don't know if a backlash is the right term, but a sort of full circle where as the artificial becomes commonplace, that which is authentic will become more valuable.
It was that the app Be Real, right? That app kind of blew up about 2 years ago. I don't use it anymore. I don't know if anybody else still uses it. I'm 34, so I may be too old for the demographic, but I'm not sure.
Old.
Not sure if that app is still relevant in the Gen Z world of things, but that was the whole point, right? I don't think you can upload photos at all. You can only use the default camera. It takes a selfie shot and a camera and an image from the main camera, puts them together, and you're only allowed to post once a day. And those limitations.
Oh yeah.
Those limitations.
I'm remembering what you're talking about.
Made it so popular with the younger audience, because it's like, and I think the way it works too is it would alert you at a different time every day when to post your Be Real. And I think you only had like 30 minutes to post at this one time. And so the idea is that everybody that has the app gets notified at the same time every day. And then they have one shot to take a photo of where they are and what they're doing in that one moment. And I think the success of that app kind of proves the desperate need for especially younger generations to feel like they're experiencing something that's real and innately human and not artificial.
Yeah, I totally agree with that as like a trend that's probably going to happen, or we're seeing it happen now. And that's interesting also from a standpoint of human verification. And I absolutely hate WorldCoin. I think it's very creepy, and the orb thing is creepy. But even with that said, it's becoming increasingly obvious that we're going to have to address this probably in the next 2 years, is some sort of way to know who is human and who is not. And this is a weird issue that we kind of didn't really ever have to think about to this degree previously. But now that the technology is here, authenticity and the authentication of humanity is going to become a big issue.
Yeah,
I think that the anti-AI trend it's like worth exploring and thinking about like what kind of products are going to emerge to support that wave of people who are pushing back against this emergence of generative media and artificial media, and what are they going to want to do? It's like the point and shoots, right? I also see it with like disposable cameras. becoming like super popular and stuff, and you get this sort of resurgence of the let's not worry about this moment where we're gonna take 20 shots on our phone and then we're gonna stand around our phone and look at them and decide what the best one is, and oh, I don't like that one and I'm gonna go reshoot it. But when you just have a disposable camera, it's just one click, boom, you can't see it. You kind of stay in that moment, and there's something interesting there that I think is like a broader trend worth exploring, and thinking about what people are going to want to do there. But at the same time, it seems odd to me. Like, I've also noticed that younger generations, they kind of seem to hate AI media, or think it's like lame.
I think some of that might be exaggerated a little bit. That's just my opinion, because I know what you're talking about, but I suspect it might be a classic sort of like Reddit problem of the loudest people getting the most attention. But I'm not sure. I'm kind of on the fence on what you're saying about it, there being a backlash to that. I think that they just might be the loudest people right now, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, that tracks. I mean, that makes sense to me. Yeah, I mean, I also am so disconnected with like what a 13-year-old kid does today. Like, I have no fucking clue how teenagers are spending their time these days, and like what products they're using, and what they think is cool and what they think is lame. Like, I'm so out of the loop, and I don't even have any friends with kids that age. So it's hard to even get like a first-hand perspective, even from like a small subset.
So, well, that's probably a good thing, Nick, that you don't hang out with and talk to underage teens. But I will say, as a professional, I will say I'm a thumbnail designer, and I work YouTube thumbnail designer, and I work with a lot of YouTubers that have majority young audiences, and it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. I just continue. We have A/B testing available now to everybody on YouTube, and if you're not familiar with what that is you may have seen this happen when you go to YouTube, but you're able to upload 3 different thumbnails per video, and YouTube tests each different thumbnail, and then they determine through the algorithm which one gets the most clicks. And so I've been running tests hundreds of times with dozens of different creators, and we keep finding, at least right now, the current trend is the thumbnails that look the most like a screenshot from the video perform the best. Meaning, if I spend like 8 hours on a thumbnail doing all this editing and cleaning up all of the blemishes and smoothing everything out, I think the easiest way to explain that would be a Mr. Beast style thumbnail. It kind of looks like CGI, looks oversaturated, fake, really clean, really poppy, really interesting, but obviously very fake. Those aren't performing as well as they used to 2 years ago. And I personally, with the clients I work with, focus on making the thumbnails look as realistic as possible. And so I use a lot of generative fill. I use a lot of different techniques. I use magnific AI to upscale all my images. But we're always focused on making the thumbnails look as realistic as possible. And it kind of comes down to the creator coming up with a good title or a good idea that would allow for an interesting thumbnail from just being essentially an image from the video. If they're doing something innately interesting in the video, we could just pull a screenshot of that moment, and then I could pull it into Photoshop and kind of sweeten it up or clean some things up or whatever. Often we'll actually have posed images that they take for the thumbnail, but yeah, again, just going back to what I was saying, like, overall, that has been the result, is the more honest and true the thumbnail is, the better it's performing, at least right now, because I think the pendulum is swinging the other way. People are kind of burned out from the Mr. Beast style.
That's interesting that you specifically mentioned Mr. Beast, because his whole thing was that he did almost like insane levels of A/B testing, right? And that sort of led them to that weird artificial style. So that's fascinating that it's gone full circle.
So I'm friends with his thumbnail designer. His name's Chucky. and they send me their A/B test PDFs just because I guess Chucky has a short list of guys that he sends the stuff out to just kind of get a judge on which one's best. And I've seen these PDF files. It has about 50 or 60 different thumbnail variants. And there's like, A1, A2, A3, all the way up to like A12. And then they'll do a B1, B2, B3, all the way up. And then they'll have basically A to like F, different variants. And then within each variant is more variations within each variant. So it's nuts. But all of them I found look still very Mr. Beasty. So I've been talking to Chucky about that. I'm like, why don't you throw in like something that looks more like a photo? Because the thing that is cool about Mr. Beast is that he really does do what he's selling with the title and thumbnail. That's kind of why he was so successful, is because as ridiculous as the title sounds, when you click on it and watch it, it actually is true. He really is doing whatever he's saying he's doing. So I would argue that if he just takes a screenshot of the thing that he's doing, that would also work well. So I don't know if they're testing anything other than that style, because it's kind of like their style, I guess.
Yeah, so maybe they're like missing a possible. Yeah, if they're not even testing that style, there could be an entire like branch of the A/B testing that they haven't even hit on yet.
But okay,
that's interesting.
I challenged him on that in the space. I had Chucky in my space. I have a space called Thumbnail Thursday, and it's on my account if you want to find it. But I told him that I was like, I want you guys to try this. Like, just trust me. I feel like it would work. And he was like, okay. I'll talk to Jim. I'll see him next week. There's a thing called Bid Summit happening next week. And I'll bring it up to him, see what he says. What are you gonna say, Nick?
I don't know if this tracks though, because my intuition says that is Mr. Beast's brand. He created that. It is synonymous with who he is.
I agree.
And the trend is the anti-beastification of YouTube. He's gotten so big. He is YouTube in a sense. He's got more followers than people who live in the United States at this point. I think it's pretty close. He's like a very large nation in terms of followers. If he was president,
300 million subscribers at this point.
Yeah, insanity. So that kind of is his brand. That's what people recognize him. It feels like it would be kind of like a huge departure. It's not like saying Apple should just like totally change their aesthetic and go like full maximalist, right? It's not going to necessarily work, even if the data might suggest otherwise for other people. But what it sounds like is that there is this sort of, because Mr. Beast has been so heavily influential in the YouTube space, and people look to him for advice, and his growth has been monumental, and so they copy his style. There is this sort of pushback against that. It's almost become like overly commoditized, and like everybody's doing it, so now you can't stand out, right? So that kind of tracks out to me. But I wouldn't guess that it would work for someone like Jimmy to actually do the switch, because it is who he is. Like, he created that, he invented that in a sense.
Yeah, it's an opportunity for somebody else to sort of do what Mr. Beast did previously, but sort of be the next iteration of that.
Right, reinvent it. And you kind of see this with
Ryan Trahan is that.
With certain creators.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Ryan Trahan
I was just going to mention.
Is definitely the opposite of Beast, but also heavily inspired by the way that he executes his videos. And his stuff has a more authentic look to it, more like an actual photo. But now people are even copying Ryan Trahan's style as well. So, I still would wager a bet that if you tried a very screenshot approach, it may at least get a subset of viewers to click on it who normally wouldn't, because you kind of get desensitized to that style. When you see it on the homepage, you just kind of ignore it if you're not interested. But if you did something more authentic, you might get some clicks from people that normally don't click, just because it's different.
I wonder if there's an opportunity to use AI for this. I've seen some experiments where they're taking the entire transcript of the YouTube video and then giving like an honest title based on what the actual transcript is, which is a cool idea because then you can't like clickbait the titles. If something is happening, but you're claiming that something different is happening, AI can sort of correct that. And I wonder if there's a way to do that with thumbnails and images too, where you could take like a sampling of frames from the video, and then have it sort of. I mean, this would be slightly complicated, but you could have it generate an amalgamation that is representative of the video. That is the accurate representation of what's happening in the video.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it'd be complicated to do, but you're totally right. I've just found the titles and thumbnails that do the best are the ones that speak directly to human nature and connect with humans. I always, when I'm consulting with people, is that you want to come up with titles that read well to a human, not an algorithm, because people want to put like certain search terms in a title or different words to like hit keywords or tags and things, and then their title just reads really weird. It's like, no, just how would you say this to somebody if you're explaining it to someone else?
Yeah.
It's hard for AI to speak like a human, so maybe as it continues to advance, that would come, but that is how YouTube judges through the A/B testing. It's actually not based on clicks when they run their tests with the A, the B, and the C thumbnail. It's actually a combination of how many clicks did that thumbnail get and how long did people watch the video who saw that thumbnail. So that's called average.
That's important.
Exactly.
That's sort of like the anti-clickbait.
Exactly.
Clickbait used to work.
Yeah.
But like clickbait doesn't work anymore. People don't hang on for clickbait.
Exactly.
They get pissed and then they leave because literally they can swipe and be on an endless stream of new content.
Exactly.
Like, there's no loyalty in that sense. So you can't clickbait someone into watching your video, or clickbait or like an email and try to convert somebody. It just doesn't work anymore because people are sick of it.
Well, in YouTube,
SEO too.
I was going to say, YouTube's smart enough now to determine if people only watch for a couple seconds and they're not satisfied, they just won't promote the video. Even if it got a lot of clicks, say you put a picture of a sexy girl on the cover and it's just a talking head of a guy talking about something, it's like, it's just not going to work because that average view duration is not attached to that thumbnail. So it does encourage creators to be more honest with their thumbnails and titles. And if your idea, this is where the idea is so important with the creators I work with. It's like they all have such great ideas that allow the thumbnail and title to be true and authentic because the video is so good to begin with. For example, I work with a guy named Max Bosch. One of the first thumbnails I did for him was titled, "I cooked a microwave meal in an active volcano." Right, so it's such a great title, such a hilarious idea. He flew to Iceland and brought, a frozen meal, and he cooked it in the lava. And so the idea is so funny that he's able to tell 100% the truth with the title and with the thumbnail, but it's because he had a great idea to begin with, and so that's why the average view duration was good. And the rate was good, and so therefore it was a successful video. But if he just, made a little paper mache volcano and microwaved it with some sort of weird thing that he made in his house, and then he had that title, that would be clickbait because he didn't actually go to an active volcano. He just made his own volcano or whatever. So, which is how it used to be in the past. People would clickbait people to click and kind of trick them with the idea, so.
Yeah, I'm thinking about when GPT-3 and then 3.5 started to get attention. A lot of people's initial reaction was, "Oh, I'm going to use this and just like spam SEO. I'm just going to create 1,000 different articles and try to like drive SEO to my website." It's like, no, guys. Like Google is not that dumb. Google has spent the last 20 years filtering that crap out, and if you're just spamming things but humans aren't reacting to it, that will show up in the algorithm. The same idea that like if literal humans, which the big platforms like Google and which owns of course YouTube, are able to know with pretty good accuracy if a real human is behind the click or not, if they're not responding positively to your content, that will not work. Like, those days are long gone.
That's another reason why I think all these people who are shilling this whole virtual influencer trend are like retarded. Like, I don't get it. Why are people wasting their time putting together these fake people who look super uncanny? And it's just like all these AI dudes posting like scantily dressed women who are doing like horrible lip sync and like terrible audio dubbing and shilling like, oh, virtual influencers. It's just nonsense to me. Like, how does anybody?
It's just another part of the cycle. It's like the course cycle. Like, every couple of years, it's like, oh my God, you make all this money by doing courses, or you make all this money by doing drop shipping, or whatever it is. It's just like the latest little mini cycle of people trying to get rich quick. And a couple people will, and then 1,000 other people won't, and then the trend will go away, and the cycle will repeat.
I think it's just like there's these assumptions by people who are using this technology of like, because it's possible, like we should do it and we should try it. And I'm all for that in the spirit of experimentation and sort of like research and exploration. But there's some things that just like don't really align or click for me, just like as a human. And like deep fakes scare me. It's sort of like, oh, virtual influencers, so I can do brand deals and like promote a tummy tea on Instagram with some fake chick holding a fake product in a fake video. It's just so ridiculous. Like, how does anybody think that's what anybody wants? It's just like, that's not what the market is actually pointing us towards. It's kind of nonsensical.
Yeah, totally. And I had the opportunity, like with my platform, like because it was already AI video, I had to make the decision a few months ago, hey, do I want to try to like compete with doing this virtual influencer thing? Because you could create a stack of AI video, and then you do lip sync, or you do 11 Labs voice, and pretty soon you can put together a stack of doing the virtual influencer. But like, is this actually contributing to society? Is this like helping people? Is this something that I would be proud of? And the answer is kind of like, no, it's just more slop, to use the term. And like, I feel the same way with, and we're about probably to be all over. There's going to be so many like AI girlfriend things, or boyfriend too, both sides. But it's just like, okay, just because you can do this, does that mean that it's like a good use of our time and our talents? Is this something that civilization benefits from? And often the answer is like, not really.
Yeah, I have like my opinion on the whole AI companionship thing is like I think it inevitably happens by virtue of having really solid voice models that people are going to be really intimate and share a lot of like their secrets and themselves with, right? Because it's going to feel safe in a sense. It's going to be a companion, a friend. In the same way I'm talking to ChatGPT this morning, just outlining a business plan with these upcoming voice models that we've seen. They're incredible in their capabilities and their ability to sort of just follow instructions and manipulate their voice and do all sorts of crazy stuff. I think naturally people are going to form relationships with these AIs in a sense. But that is a different sort of natural emergence from the technology, as opposed to somebody saying, hey, here's my AI girlfriend app that will sext you and make you feel like you're someone special. Then it becomes very slimy, right? So I do think that like AI companionship is an inevitability, and that we're all going to have a sort of like an AI friend in the probably relatively near future that we confide in more than we confide in anybody in this space, or even like some of our closest real life friends, because it does feel a bit safer in a sense. But at the same time, when you go a little deeper, it's like, who are you giving all that information to? Like OpenAI? You're sharing all your deep dark secrets with your quote AI friend. So like, will people care? Will they get enough benefit and like companionship out of it where they don't really worry about those sorts of privacy concerns? But then eventually I feel like it's like the big hardware players like an Apple who comes out and it happens locally, and then people feel like their privacy is a bit more protected. So it's just sort of like naturally evolves in that way. But it's also even interesting to see how people are taking the concept of like an AI companion and playing with it, like the friend device, right? The friend device that Avi is working on. He's taking a different approach where it's not voice to voice, it's voice to like text communications. And that sort of changes the relationship that you have, right? It's a little bit less personal in a sense because it's not as real time. It's like a phone conversation versus you're texting somebody. Like you have a moment to think about what you're going to say, and you can kind of ignore it. Like a response isn't required. So it sort of limits the companionship in a sense. It doesn't allow you to get
my point was illustrated again.
It's like the moment about phone calls with somebody.
All the polls are cited about who didn't like Kamala, and then as soon as you bring a poll up in here that somebody disagree with, I don't believe in polls. Polls aren't right. So it's like, come on, get the fuck out of here.
That wasn't the mic drop that she thought it was.
It was. Okay, I would.
You just did.
Yeah, let me keep going here. So I predicted. I came into this room and I predicted that Kamala was going to be running the race, right? Now, I also predicted that Nikki Haley would be running the race. Why? Because Trump is going to be convicted and thrown in jail, and the Republican Party is going to pick Nikki Haley. That's what I predicted. But the ruthless Supreme Court, radical MAGA losers, tell the man that he has immunity, right? And push back the sentencing. Right? The sentencing got pushed back. That is the only reason why Nikki Haley is not running right now. That's the only reason. Kamala was supposed to run. I always said Joe Biden did the right thing. He did it all the way up to this point. He's not going to be able to carry it all the way. And here we have her right now. She is the best choice. Nobody else out here.
Okay,
Nobody else has her accolades. No, hey, listen. I thought we don't cut off people in the room. Remember the guy that was here before? He said, "Hey, we don't do that here." So let me finish. I'm gonna take 30 seconds. I'll finish, please. Thank you very much. So now she is running.
We mostly do that to people who don't like.
Loser Republicans were running around talking about dementia Joe, right? Democrats said, no problem. We saw him on the debate stage. You know what? We don't think he can carry it all the way. Here is Kamala. No, here comes Republicans. Oh, it's a coup. Just like what the young lady said a while ago. You guys are freaking out. You know why? You're only freaking out because you don't have no tools. None. All of everything in your arsenal is dead.
That's 30 seconds.
She is destroying everything you have, and Trump is going to lose. Now, when Trump loses...
45 seconds.
Yeah, I know, no problem. Trump is going to lose. Trump, when she loses, right?
Is this woman like a black belt or judo or something? Like, Trump is so...
Trump is going to... Yeah, I know you guys. It's hard to listen to a Democrat because you guys are a bunch of... Yo, listen to the Democrat.
What's going to happen when Trump wins? You gotta cry.
Let me finish.
No. Hey, you're gonna mute up. That's what you're going to do.
Yeah, he's been putting shut the fuck up section. I couldn't take it anymore. It's hard to listen to EDI boy.
So, but whoever.
I'd like to go when I can, Brad. I've kind of stayed out of it until now.
Let me just before you go.
Let me just say this about what he said. Nikki Haley made a prediction during the primaries, the Republican primaries this year,
she ran against Trump, she said the first party to retire its 80-year-old candidate is going to win the election. And I think that she was onto something. And I also think that she was looking at the polls. In the polling, there was an historic number of what you call double haters. Double haters are the people who don't like Donald Trump and don't like Joe Biden. When they announced Kamala Harris as the nominee, someone's unmuted. I'm just going to go ahead and mute you for background noise. So when they announced Kamala Harris as the top of the ticket, something interesting happened in the polling. The double haters evaporated. You know what else happened? RFK's support cratered from upwards of around 10% to basically the margin of error. And that's why you saw him recently do what he did. And so I think everyone should have a 30,000-foot view of what happened and understand that parties are corporations. There's no constitutional mention of how a party chooses its candidate. Now, once you are the candidate, then you have a bunch of constitutional measures and a bunch of laws that apply. But a party can choose its candidate basically however it wants to. And that's what happened here. And the Republicans were free to do the same thing. Now, in terms of popularity, someone mentioned that Democrats also didn't like Kamala Harris. There were certainly pundits that said that she should be replaced prior to her ascension. There's no doubt about that. But in the polling, Democrats always had a very strong, favorable number of her. It was just the overall number that was low, and people really didn't know her. Now that they're getting to know her, now that they're seeing more of her, there's no question that her favorability skyrocketed. She's about +4 in favorability. Governor Walz is about +15. Donald Trump is about -10, and JD Vance is about -15. So I think what the Trump campaign needs to do is work on the favorability numbers, especially for Vance because he's dragging the ticket back. And so Republicans should really focus on their strategy. I think when you're scrutinizing how the other side runs, you're probably losing. And even Nikki Haley on Fox News said, stop complaining about Kamala Harris not doing interviews. Like, we sound like whiners. Don't police how the other party runs. Let them run. You run your race. You get your coalition together. That's what he's doing. He's getting at least former Democrats, right? Nikki Haley, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK. They said they have more Democrats. Good for you. I think it was a nice news cycle for Donald Trump. Focus on that. But how we run is going to be how we run. Period. Okay, Nick.
All right. So a few things. You're right. They do need to stop whining. Trump needs to stop whining when she takes a policy of his, turn it into a good thing. Look at my policies are so good, she's adopting them. That's the way to hit it rather than the whining. I agree 100% there. But go back on one thing you said. We sell the great American thing is the right to vote, right? So we have the right to vote, and we believe that our vote matters. And one side pointed, and Madison was saying this before, y'all were mad. Well, here's why people are upset. Because there were even Democrats that said, no. We want to have a type of a primary, something. And that got pushed out of the way. So the threat is he's the end of democracy. But what people believe is a democracy. If you go walk down the street, it's our vote. Our voice matters. And what you just said, it is true. The government can choose. And there's people who believe they always do. And they can do it by just changing the way the district is laid out. And they do it every time. And they get the candidate they want. It's a Bernie Sanders. But the one side can point. And the other side just sits back at the end of democracy. He's the bad guy. He's the bad guy. Wait, we're going to change the way the rules work. Just outright do so. Okay? So the fact is she was polling in the 30s for her approval rating. Even amongst Democrats, she was tanking. Right? And everybody in their right mind knew. Democrats should have known. I mean, let's be real. I mean, CNN and them started rolling on him about 6-8 months ago and started, hey, wait a minute, you can't hide it anymore. But they should have known beforehand. They did know beforehand. They sit in the meetings with him. There's people who are saying that he was falling asleep in meetings. Those whistleblowers should have came up. It's a big machine. Bottom line is the system, we can go on and on and on about it. But the hypocrisy being pointed on one side look in the mirror and look at the hypocrisy that we're seeing on all of the things that the Democrats are doing. The wall doesn't work. Now I want to do a wall. Hey, this works. Now I want to do it. And all we got to do is start looking and holding each other accountable. We don't have enough of a freaking news cycle. We got Zuckerberg coming out and saying, wait, I am going to say that the Biden-Harris administration did put pressure on us. And
so
I wish I
the
wouldn't
Trump
have.
administration, Corey.
Doesn't matter.
It's not like that, though.
No. It
Not like that.
If what you're gonna do is
Stop.
blame
Give me
one
a second,
direct-
Marshall.
if what you're gonna do is blame one political party for the way this works without mentioning the other political party to the exact same damn thing, then what you intend out of your statement is to import the other political party is doing the wrong thing. If you're gonna say the other political party is doing the wrong thing, then you need to point back at the other political party that did the exact same thing when it was in power, despite telling the people that voted for them that it was the wrong thing to do.
Okay, I'm going to do the unethical thing here, and I'm going to take what Zuckerberg did, and I'm just going to add what I believe. Both parties did it. That's not what he said. He said the Biden-Harris administration did it. That's what he said.
I get that he said that, but if
quoting
you
that.
take government documents and you look back, you will find that both parties did it. I don't give two
It's not even close to the same,
red. I don't.
Marshall's
You're wrong. What
Marshall's
you're
wrong here. Let's go.
Zuckerberg did it. I don't care. The point
Way
is,
off.
both campaigns did it. Both
You're wrong. The campaigns, it was an administration. Marshall,
Both
have you not
parties
looked at the fucking
function
paper
in that
today?
capacity when they govern. You don't get to blame the other political party for it and make them look bad when you did the same thing.
And who is Zuckerberg for? Which party has he been with?
Zuckerberg has done things for both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party.
And which side is he sided with, and which side did he
In
fall
the
with? Which side
2020
did he-
election under the Trump administration for them, under this administration for them. My point is, each party did a thing you're labeling the other party with that you don't happen to like. You don't get to say the Democratic Party did the wrong thing that we're not supposed to do when we did the same damn thing before we lost. You don't
Okay, so
get
why
to
isn't
claim that.
Zuckerberg saying it? Why isn't Zuckerberg saying that they influenced me to say, to withhold stories from the opposite side? Why isn't he saying that? What I'm saying, Marshall, is you're not listening to what I'm saying. I'm not saying one side didn't
what
do
you're
it.
saying. I'm simply telling you that Zuckerberg is using his ability to talk about one particular party when if you look at documents from both eras, you find that both parties did the exact same damn thing. And as somebody who is a moderator, I'm not going to allow you to take the information and lambaste one party when the other party who people have to vote for did the exact same behavior. That way, you don't get to stand on a moral hill and wave a flag for the party I'm a part of and work for. We did the wrong thing. Done.
Marshall,
Didn't say that at all, Marshall.
Hold on, Corey.
Didn't say it.
Marshall,
Maybe I'm wrong, but
hold on, Eric. Marshall, I think he's pointing to the latest news drop on Zuckerberg where he does state and he brings out the light that the Biden-Harris campaign tried to force them and intimidate them and force them to play certain messages or downplay certain news stories.
Part of the discussion that
No,
follows.
this is a new recent
I'm sorry.
development.
No, so what Zuckerberg actually said. Hold on. So what Zuckerberg actually said was that in 2020 they were pressured, right, by the White House. Right-wing outlets and influencers then ran with that statement to accuse Biden-Harris of suppressing the Hunter Biden story, when in fact, in 2020, Biden-Harris was not in office. So they kind of jumped the gun.
Dude, you're sleep, bro.
I'm sorry. He said the Biden White House at the White House in 2020. And in 2020, can you go on mute? Bro, when you go on mute, it's just really loud. So he said the White House in 2020, right? No, he said the FBI. He just said the FBI. Just let me finish. I promise you'll get a chance. Okay. I'm not. The White House in 2020, right, pressured him. The administration pressured him. In 2021 and thereafter, there was pressure around COVID misinformation. When the Twitter files.
Damn, they clipped me. Marshall Rankin is a fake Republican. He's easily triggered when you make fun of Democrats. It's because Marshall Rankin is not a Republican. He's a fucking fake Republican. Welcome back to the Marshall Rankin Show, where you have moron, where a total moron.
Make me a race trader to know on the
Cherry's been calling me a race trader for like 2 weeks. Like I've been openly about my race trading.
Also, can I throw another?
Yes. I am a race trader. I am pro-black. I am anti.
You know, Marshall, I'm sorry, but we renounced you and denounced you. You are no longer a Republican. You don't work for the Republican Party, and the Texas GOP has denounced you. You are a fake Republican, Marshall. Oh, gotcha, Marshall.
And I just thought that was weird because he said that he's friends with him on Instagram. So I was like, oh, okay. I don't know. It's weird.
Weird.
Also, AGN.
Weird.
Critical of this, so I don't know what you said. I don't think you guys are retarded. This is a job for the Indian State Department, not for YouTube mobs, but even else prices fucking talk about this.
I just want to say that this is weird.
Don't kick him, dude. Come on, Adrian. Bring Adrian back. Man, that guy is hard with. No, come on, just Adrian. Come. I love you. Fix him. What are you gonna fix about today?
Nothing. Everything's gravy over here. You're the guy who's always negative and complaining.
What? You say you were kind of breaking up.
I said life is gravy. You're the one who's always negative and complaining. I challenge you to say something positive.
Yeah. I'm a negative guy, man. That's who I am. I've learned to accept, like a Buddha, acceptance, my friend. You just have to accept who you are, and all the problems will fade away, basically. So, plus I'm a little high. It's all good. Yeah, and to continue, I think you guys think India should just modernize everything? It would probably make more sense. You have a lot of problems.
Did you know in 2019, Kamala suggested we invade India and remove the Modi regime?
No, I didn't understand. I didn't understand what he said. He was making up for me.
You don't think we just said it?
Yeah, there's some Indian political activist organizer on this app, and he was on here talking about that in 2019, Kamala was recorded saying that she supports invading India to regime change the conservative government of India.
Look, I have nothing to. Yeah, but I don't understand what is this comparison every time. She's somebody in India. Yeah, but every time you talk about American politics, why do you have to bring Indian politics? I mean, what is there's apple and orange comparison here, right? So that's what Evtol does too. I think.
Really, apples and oranges? India is the biggest republic on the fucking planet.
It's really retarded, because they're like, oh, you vote Democrat in the U.S., but you would probably vote Modi.
Were you born in America, JR?
No. I don't even live in.
Okay. Because I was gonna say, like, yeah, never mind that. I mean, if you're not even born here, I mean, you don't really have.
Brazil has a lot of like Japanese speakers, and if you want to keep language immersion in Japanese, you can always go to Brazil.
Yeah, and get robbed.
You come visit me, man, in Brazil.
Colombia, and then Brazil.
Who cares about getting laid in South America when you can't even get fucking laid? Who cares about getting laid when you can't even fuck?
JR, you don't want mostly overthrows. So why are you supporting Kamala, man? It's not good to be simping for Kamala. JR, you're better than that. Look, I have my reasons. I think I spoke to them from left or right. My life is never going to change. They're all the same.
Eftol is an American patriot, a J6 stormtrooper. JR, you need to go to the gym with Evital and grow a pair of balls.
Oh, shut up. It's the same thing at the end of the day, right? Look, the president is only one branch. The president is a branch, right? The executive branch, which is one branch. But then you have the Congress, the Senate, and then the judicial, right? So that's where the whole thing is. And then you always have this balance around the states. And that's why I say what I say. It doesn't matter who comes to power. No. I'm not playing. JR, Eftol had a very good point in another room where it was like a German guy interviewing us. Like, and he said, and I asked Eftol, because that was the format of the room, like, what did you consider George Bush to have stolen the 2000 election? And many people to this day consider George Bush to have stolen that election. And that is actually arguably what led to Obama. People were so upset about the Supreme Court decision where it was considered that George Bush stole the election.
And that it's triggered your and my performance in that room has triggered all the deep state patriots, as they call themselves. Ben Mendelsohn and John Mallinckrodt, these guys. They said
True patriots.
Say, how could you platform a terrorist like him? How could you platform him? And that's basically my 8th week in a row over there, fucking these people over. So I'll be back again on Sunday. But Ben Mendelsohn who tried his best. He was the leader of their lefty.
He lives off of some woman. He lives off of a woman who's a State Department official. They live in like Belgium or something. He doesn't even work. He's a fucking parasite living off of a State Department parasite.
Yeah, he's living down there in Buenos Aires or something like that. But he's a literal State Department. But these guys are creeps, man. You should see them with Andres Socorro.
State Department people living in DC. Like I'll go down to the street. I'm not in DC right now, but when I'm leaving DC. But when I was in DC, I could just like walk down the street, go to a bar, get drunk, and then there was some guy who's like, yeah, dude, I work for the State Department. You're like a cool guy. Let's stay in touch. You know, a lot of them are nice people.
Yeah, you would be nice too if your fellow taxpayers pay for your salary, pay for your pension, pay for your travel, pay for your housing, pay for your political bullshit. Yeah, it's nice to get paid by your government and do no fucking real work. I love that kind of work. I don't know about you.
State Department people only are nice to me because I have studied many languages and I can do random singing in various languages.
Oh, you're a show monkey. Cool. I'm just saying State Department people and most federal employees who get paid very well and work in an elitist institution generally are pretty nice to people. But I mean, it sounds like you're an awesome guy.
Andrew, what languages can you sing in the best? Okay, lately I found this school for Japanese run by an Indian American, and my Japanese has been getting really good. Because can you sing for us in Japanese? We'd love to hear some. Okay, I'm gonna put it. I have to get the karaoke, but I know which song do you want me to sing? Which you pick. I'm gonna sing the one that I learned on TikTok from some girl in Japan. It's really easy to connect to people in Japan on TikTok, but I got off TikTok because it's brain cancer. So I'm gonna sing "Stay With Me," and hold on, let me just pull it up on my computer.
Use the music mode so that we can hear the song properly.
Do you think that Shibo Enzi or whatever that fucking guy's name got killed with the fucking double barrel homemade shotgun? Do you think he was killed because he refused the vaccine on the country or because of the church financial scam or how his church ripped off the guy that blew his fucking brains out? No opinions on that one. I mean, Japan's an important country, and that assassination was a major event. And here today, gone tomorrow.
Yes, my love to you. Yes, my love to you. Yes, my.
So that one is admittedly kind of gay, but I practice another one, which is really popular now called Chimu Tomodachi, but it's like gangster rap, and it's just kind of weird. But I've actually had to practice it on video.
First of all, that was excellently done. Secondly, I do want to hear the gangster rap song.
I'm sorry, but
I definitely do.
There's a Tamil version, but anyway, I'll do the Japanese version.
All the people that took the jab, the cure for the jab is vitamin C. Why do you think they took it out of the Tropicana the minute made it pasteurizing the oranges?
People were
No.
People were I'm not even gonna hold you. I've been in the healthcare system way too fucking long for my life. Motherfuckers been healthy, and when they pulled up on that COVID, it was perfect timing because I was like, yo, y'all agenda go out way far, but guess what? This shit is backfiring real bad. They pulling out all the stops. Just like you said, they can't stop that.
It's not even about all the stops. It's about.
Man, it's about the orange juice pasteurization, man. You hit the nail on the head, vitamin C, man.
MODACHI 친구 부모다치 마사가야 전까지 카와시 넌데를 쌓게 지기리 지기로
Andrew, that was brilliant. I mean, the fact that you can rap in Japanese is out of this world impressive.
Rap culture comes from just being Punjabi, but the point is you have to clean it out of your brain, and the best way to clean it out of your brain is to convert it all into Japanese.
Dude, yeah, that was very impressive because you did two things at the same time. You did Japanese singing and rapping, and both of those are hard. So let's hear another Japanese rap song.
That was so good. That was so good. I'm thinking if you're part
Yeah, dude. It's like I feel like I'm half black, half Japanese at this point. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like that.
Dude, Andrew, let's hear another Japanese tune. By the way, I mean you're obviously quite proficient at this.
Well, are you just a Japanese singer, or you can also speak Japanese? I mean,
I've done the entire alphabet now, hiragana, and now I just have to learn kanji, which is like a gradual process, which is like Chinese characters.
Can you say it in Japanese?
I'm gonna sing sings like that. Feels like.
Yeah, please do.
Wait, Andrew, can you sing a Punjabi song?
No, let him sing in Japanese first. Then they get to Punjabi. I want to hear the Japanese first. Yeah, do a Japanese song first, then we'll listen to a Punjabi song. Hey, JR, do you have Instagram?
Which isn't Persian, because it's actually done by Satinder Sartaaj, and it's like a long 15-minute lyric. It's the lyric that the Sikhs sent to Aurangzeb condemning him. But I've done that also as a recording, but only for people interested in linguistics research, just to show that I could do it pretty well, like even though I didn't grow up in Persia. But let me just do this.
JR, Rahul was asking for your Instagram. Can you share?
No, I don't want his Instagram. You can check out this girl on Instagram. I put her handle in the chat.
Yeah. I'm single.
Probably more for Andrew than you, but you can check it out.
Yo, can you say something in Russian?
Bravo, bravo. Let me clap. I love that. I love.
That is very well done. Andrew, can you say something in Russian?
Before we do Russian, they said Punjabi. Can we do Honey sings Moscow Mashuka?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine. Punjabi.
Do anything. Yeah.
All the way from Moscow. Cat. It's me.
Moscow Mashuka. I love this. मेरा गुड लक तेरा तेरा मेरी यक्का कुका में चढ़ा तेरी खाली खाली लक नाक पकला चला तेरी मेरा बेबी मेरी चक्कर जाशी गो बर्गर चक्कर रशिया चप्पल Turn the music on, the night begin. The DJ hold on, the guys sit back and on. I love Moscow Mashuka. Moscow Mashuka. I love Moscow Mashuka. I love Moscow Mashuka. Fun, fun, talk, gun, all of the run, made it shock. Balle, meri balle, balle, haters, posers, rasta chuki, halle, the sariga, shikari, jisi kuri dani, keep you kahani, Kagari, meri black, Kagari, Nani, kiki, Rambo, Lord, keep your soul, don't you, Rambo, Nari, Ganai, Niri, the car, Ishki, Sadina, maybe, get it in Bafa. It's designed to set Illinois for success and let them serve their time in jail. Before their release, they can now receive a free Illinois state identification card. The valid physical ID is essential to apply for a job, obtain housing, secure employment, and access healthcare. This new law simplifies the process by now requiring physical registration and driver's license for state card. They also don't need physical social security card as long as we can confirm their social security number. You're your honey singer.
That was probably one of the best, yeah.
You can only sing really well in these like.
I loved it so much. Bravo, bro.
Can you sing Bihari song now?
Okay, now we're getting into the good stuff. Dude, Bhojpuri. I want to sing in Bhojpuri, man.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's so funny.
When it comes to Cortez, and I'm going to finish with land pretty soon. When it
There,
comes to Cortez,
That was really.
I don't know if it's true or not.
Come
This is
on,
being funded
dude.
by those
We let you sing.
where
When you sing that you're we don't listen.
Yeah, I mean,
How many times have you sang for us at JR?
well, maybe
50
times.
I stand for JR. You know, JR.
I think that JR is jealous, right? You know, because Andrew is such a good singer. JR gets a little bit jealous, right? So,
Yeah, so this one was just doomed from the start.
Dude, I don't know. I can't hear anything. What the fuck, I mean? I don't know how is it that you guys are able to hear?
You said I turn it up.
yeah, turn up the volume, yeah. But Andrew, you didn't accept Philadelphia. I don't think I've ever met anybody who can sing Japanese, Punjabi, or the first time in my existence that I've heard this. So, like, this is out of this world amazing.
Yeah, Andrew, you're really talented, man. Very talented guy. This has been great.
Let's hear something in Russian. I want Russian.
The Russian Bolshevik Revolution, and it's actually a really good one. I've seen that show at Broadway in New Haven. Like, there's some Yale bullshit going on, but like, I saw this live in but I hadn't been to see it. And now I get to perform it.
It's really hard to
Russia is their home, and basically the version I use always has subtitles in German and English, so you don't get confused. Like, also they don't give you too much. But like you will see this one. I will see learning this one.
Yeah, I want the version of this sung in Russian.
That's garbage. Oh my God,
I've been holding up for a long time. I've been holding up for a long time.
MRP Easy is a powerful yet simple ERP software. Your service area?
Everybody know I got more wisdom than Jesus. So when I things that belong to tell about, so y'all can't stand. That's it. Baby, I got so much love to get. Oh, baby, now, baby. I'm gonna give you all. Baby. I got so much love to get. Oh, baby, now, baby. I'm gonna give you all. See, you want my love, but that's what it do. I'm gonna give you what that is pussy too. See, you want my love, but that's what it do. I'm gonna give you what that is pussy, baby. I got so much love to get. Oh, baby, now, baby. I'm gonna give you all. Baby. I got so much love to get. Oh, baby, now, baby. I'm gonna give you all. True enough, I am what I am. However, I'd rather be a crackhead than the fuck over one. I have nothing. You want to send me something, send it to my app. This is me. Right here. Do it for me. Love you, babe. I got beans and belong. Yeah, Kurt. Go ahead. Do you think This is good.
souvenirs, l'impression de cette vie, déjà ténérique, sauvez-moi, mélodie, tu es mon beau salut, tu es fou de lyrique, tu es fou de lyrique. Aime-moi dans la neige, aime-moi sous le soleil, aime-moi le beau beige, dans les fleurs des belles. Aime-moi dans la neige, aime-moi sous le soleil, aime-moi le beau beige, dans les fleurs des belles. Soyons de nuit, dans le soir, c'est de tout en tout comme l'air. Le temps, on est plus moi, je m'arrête, je me lève de choses, tu verras sur les pages des étiquettes. Avec toi, tu sais moi, je sais moi. Music and song. Thank you, Annie. Yeah, you should cut this off.
Oh, hey, JR.
Andrew, Andrew, can you sing like harder rock or metal, or is that a bit too hard for you? Yeah, I do that my favorite song is called okay, I'll play it. It's by Arcona, and it's in several different Northern European languages.
Yeah, Arcona, yeah, I'm familiar with Arcona for sure. They have that one song that's like Yarrowloo, right? That's like their most famous song. Am I correct?
So I know their discography really well. In fact,
because I've actually seen Arcona play. Like they opened for a band I saw. So I think I can't remember if I saw them or I didn't see them because the concert got canceled.